Subsequently, he would email Vince McMahon saying, "If you're not going to do anything with me, why can't I exit stage left?"
That's crazy. He gained the reality of just like they're not gonna really do nothing with him. And what was Vince McMahon's plan? What did he want to do? Did he just want to keep this person sitting around and shit? Like nobody wants to do that.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
What up? It's Ahmad J back here in another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by What Culture Wrestling. The video is gonna be on an interesting one, honestly. And it says 7 times WWE tried to unbury someone and failed. Man, when have they ever did this? I'm trying to think back, because like it always comes to me when I see the video and I remember the moment. Unbury. There's probably been a few moments, but I'm having a blur right now. But I know I'm gonna remember some of these. But let's just get into it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the WWE moments and reactions. Let's get into it.
The term buried is overused. I would agree that somebody like LA Knight could be used more as we are talking, but he has had an amazing career. I mean, the dude is a superstar. I think there's a lot in that too, in the sense that if you do make it to WWE, well, the clue is in the name. Imagine the first time you went to training. That's the dream. You're being paid a fortune to wrestle. You should be proud. You made it to the tippity top. At the same time, sometimes WWE does just boom somebody into oblivion when they wake up one day and go, oh, wait, we've changed our mind. By then, it's probably too late. So I am Simon Miller, and on behalf of What Culture Wrestling, this is 7 times WWE basically failed to sort it out. Number 7, Jinder Mahal. Where else would we start?
Oh, okay. I think I'm probably like mixed up on the little whole thing. But like this makes perfect sense right here.
I feel so sorry for Jinder Mahal with this, because when he did become WWE champion from nowhere, the shift in presentation and the addition of the Bollywood boys was great. In terms of trying something different and committing to it, this could have been awesome. The issue was, as ever, WWE was so impatient. The timeline genuinely saw Jinder go from opening match guy to main event star in weeks. Forget the perception of the audience, but that's just...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You can't have bro losing to Mojo Rawley and then jump up and then beat Randy Orton out of nowhere. That kind of came off as like him. We can't take this dude serious. It's like wrestling meant nothing at that point. You don't build nobody up. You just shoot him up to the moon because he was in the... It was like, I think Vince McMahon said he wants something in the Indian market.
Lazy creative. With a proper story and Mahal given some time to cut promos, this could have been such a cool rise. You see it develop every single week. We start talking about it on the internet. The conversation around it now would have been totally different. Instead, it was genuinely weeks between these, and Jinder was not given the opportunity properly. Like, if you don't know, I have no hair, I'm bald. If I turn up on my next visual video with a wig, well, you're going to start asking some questions. If we do jump to the 15th of January 2024 Raw as well, kind of like Britney Spears, it happened again. Mahal was given a random title shot against Seth Rollins, and while usually this would have been forgotten about quite fast, it then became a fight. As the wrestling community had given AEW a hard time for Hook receiving similar treatment, Tony Khan compared the two, and yeah, caused an online riot. It was basically true though. Both companies had basically done the same thing. Jinder Mahal then asked tongue-in-cheek who Hook was as WWE tried to use this to generate some headlines. And then Jinder lost. He never used him again. Then he got released. I tell you, that was a really weird week. Number 6, Pete Dunne. Pete.
That was a crazy ass fucking week, honestly. It really was a crazy ass week, bro. Because when he fucking said who the fuck is Hook, that shit was crazy over. But I don't know, like I guess he belongs on this list because like they tried to unbury him after years of putting him in the toilet with 3MB and being enhancement talent, and then you try to like make him go up, and then he beats Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Dunne is one of the best wrestlers in the world. So if you are watching this in 2026, go and watch his Attack Wrestling match with Leon Cage because it is brilliant. The man is one of a kind, and shout out to Leon too. Mother Hubbard's got a bright future. After Dunne got signed to WWE, he was the man in NXT UK, and when he got to the main roster, well, yes, he became Butch. Sort of ridiculous, but hey, fans bought into it to a certain degree because Pete decided, well, if this is what I'm going to be given, I'm going to give it all I've got. I would assume he was hoping for the Brawling Brutes to eventually be broken up. It is the WWE main roster after all, and then get used properly, but everything went nuts. Vince McMahon left WWE, Triple H was now in charge, and yeah, the game was a huge fan of the Bruiserweight, so he was back to his old self in no time. We did the same with his buddy Tyler Bate, but that actually became the problem. While as a tag team they were really good, the whole tag team division then just faltered. That meant there was...
This part was really stupid. These guys are actually pretty good, but I guess like there's like so stack of so many superstars, but at the same time they were a good tag team. And then like the tag team's division, like he said, went to shit. I do not know why, for the love of God, they put these two talented wrestlers under the guise of being El Grande Americano's henchmen, basically. Even though Ludwig Kaiser is good as El Grande Americano, but I feel like these guys could have been tag team champions right now, but we just got thrown together teams like R-Truth and Damian Priest instead of legit ass tag teams right now. And that pisses
No
me
real
off.
hoopla about them becoming a pairing. And even when Bate came back from that injury, they did one match and vanished again. It was weird. I'm surprised they didn't end up on the side of a milk carton. Today, of course, they have been repackaged as El Grande Americano 2 and El Grande Americano 3. And look, that whole gimmick is fun. They're so talented, and they do make it work. I guess in many ways it has been a wild ride. But when they were a normal tag team, that did not click at all, just because it wasn't given time to. You can't take somebody who's named after a dog and then go, just forget about that. He's in a duo now. You got to give them some wins. And guess what WWE did not do? That. Number 5, Apollo Crews. So let's just tie this into the intro. Apollo Crews had a great WWE career, even if he was never used properly. Yes, he was called up from NXT with zero plan, but a decade with the world's biggest wrestling promotion, there's something to that and way worse ways to live. It is a shame, though, when you do go through it beat by beat, because WWE never really understood what they had here, which made it stranger when for snippets of times they did go, yeah, we should try again. For example, one day Apollo walked out as a Nigerian king and won the Intercontinental title, and even feuded with Big E. Now look, this was not good, but my gosh, it totally fell off a cliff when Crews revealed this wasn't his idea, meaning Vince McMahon came up with it. I mean, good grief. He then went back to NXT and could see through time or something. I don't really understand how to explain that one to you because it was NXT being weird. And every now and then he would get a mini push, went bam, dead again. He just never got any momentum. It felt like maybe Apollo would get a solid run in Triple.
I feel like a person that dodged the releases for years was Apollo Crews. Like he wasn't on TV. He wasn't really doing anything, bro, until like they did that Nigerian gimmick, and that kind of gave me some hope that he'll have some type of like gimmick, or basically some type of personality. Sometimes talent is and being good at wrestling is just not enough. You gotta at least know how to talk on a mic. They didn't give him enough time to do that. It just was up and down, and then until he got released.
Play when WWE tried him down there. Let's face it, he never had a bad match. But I suppose 2026 finally caught up with him, and yep, he got released. Now you never want to see anybody let go because it does suck, although it does feel like there could be a net positive here. Crews basically has become the master of proving over and over again that he has still got it, because of course he's still got it. When you can't show off what you do have unless you're actually put on TV, or you give it 6 months, and we'll all be singing his praises again, then WWE will likely try and bring him back. A tale as old as time, before Johnny Gargano. So there was a time when Johnny Gargano wouldn't have even been signed to WWE. He was all 6'2 plus Jack dudes only. I don't want to be horrible, but that is not Johnny Gargano. It's why the black and gold era of NXT was so important, because it proved that most fans just like good wrestling. Style doesn't really come into it. A wrestler's job is to entertain, and there's so good stuff. I think there was a time where fans were worried about a main roster call-up for Johnny Gargano too, because of how Vince McMahon treated such wrestlers, which is why actually re-teaming him with Tommaso Ciampa was smart. It was a massive slap in the face if you watched their feud in NXT, but you remember what happened to most guys when they did jump from one to the other, so whatever safety net.
Yeah, I kind of discussed this in my like NXT, the people when they bought NXT talent up and they ruined them. Like I kind of discussed this. I know they really did not want to come up. I feel like for both of them, I probably think they thought this was it because they know how Vince McMahon treated talent when they got up to the main roster. It was kind of rare how they treated Finn Balor, bro. I'm not gonna cap. It's kind of rare how he just gave him a real good push when he came up from the NXT from the NXT thing, but like it kind of slowly went down from there after his injury.
They could get. The WWE also needed more tag teams at the time, but go back 2 entries ago. For the last few years, the whole scene has just felt like an afterthought when we got that surprise return in 2022. That was clearly meant to be a reset, but yeah, within a month or two, he was back in the same position. And today, if you are watching this in 2026, well, he mostly lies on a box. Now, I don't mind that because Guilty Wrestling for life, but it does have to go somewhere. And at the moment, he does just quite literally lie on a box as Candice LeRae goes nuts at him. It just doesn't seem like this has been planned out at all, so we are just going week to week, which never works.
I guess there is some sort of potential, CM Punk kind of, hinted toward it being some type of, new thing because he's about to get up off the box and is going to be hyped. Hope so.
So it does mean you fall down the pecking order, and that's not great. I really don't know what WWE wants to do with Johnny Gargano, especially because, of course, Tommaso Ciampa left the territory. But I hope it's something bigger than this, because the man is way better. Number 3, Zelina Vega. Go back to Zelina Vega and Andrade's run, especially in NXT, because man, what were we thinking? We should have just copy and pasted that onto Raw or SmackDown because it was so good. Do you remember what we did in 2020 after all this too? I bet you don't, because while they were still together, Austin Theory and Angel Garza were also added to that group, and nobody recalls this, not even WWE. They didn't even find the time to give them a name. They then instantly started losing and arguing, so Zelina left so fast, so what was the point of this? Although her plan was to go on to win singles gold. You know what happened instead? She got let go in November, which means we got that old curse. You get bad creative, you can't do anything about your bad creative, and then you lose your job. Now, it soon transpired that Zelina had left because of a disagreement over third-party rights. She was a Twitch streamer and WWE wanted some of the profits, and yeah, that was unfair.
That's really kind of unfair to this day, because like why would you want part of the profits? It's like what happened to Xavier's up down down you know, his channel, bro. People literally I think I think he signed some sort of thing with you know, WWE right now, because like I checked that channel and it has not had an upload ever since, bro. And I think that has like a deal with him. He left the company and I'm pretty sure those uploads have stopped. His last video was like 6 months ago, so I'm pretty sure that like WWE owns like a good majority of that channel and they don't want to do anything with that. Pretty sure that was in some sort of contract or something. You never know.
That's non-work time. Zelina actually brought up the point of a wrestling union, which was ballsy when she returned in 2021. It was kind of a smart comeback too, as WWE booked her to win the King of the Ring. Then, well, say it with me, nothing. I guess you did get a run with the tag belts alongside Carmella, but look at the tournament today. If you do win the Queen of the Ring, you get a title shot. Kind of sums it up. From nowhere, she was also in the Latino World Order and won the Women's US title, but man, that championship was nothing from day one, and it was not the fault of the wrestlers. She then had that nothing time with Aleister Black, and what happened after that? She was gone again. So it really didn't make sense.
Low-key, they kind of abducted her from her division, paired her with Aleister Black. It kind of looked good because they like are legit like spouses in real life, but like they didn't do nothing with her, bro. They essentially just like kind of turned it into shit. Like she was in a managerial role again, and like did they just forget that she was like a US champion? And like I feel like they just had nothing for her to do and just paired her with Aleister Black. That's what they do with like all like wrestlers nowadays.
Was 2 + 2 = potato, and I'm not sure WWE even knew what their end goal was. Number 2, Aleister Black. And we should talk about her husband. Say it with me, it was also so weird. But after Paul Heyman was given more creative control in 2020, he went to bat for Aleister Black, and yeah, the man had something and was different, new stars were needed. And at one point, Aleister rumoredly was even in the conversation to win the Royal Rumble. Of course, that went to Drew McIntyre instead. Why we couldn't have done 2 stories, I do not know, but Black followed this up by locking himself in a dark room and saying he wanted matches. This went on for ages too, and he never left that closet. I mean, you could practically see the butting of heads of the creative process on your television screen. Paul Heyman wanted one thing, and somebody called Vince McMahon wanted something else. If only WWE had at the very least decided to keep the tag team going with Ricochet, because yeah, go watch those two in NXT, it is so good. And then once again in 2021, he was released. Apparently nobody could come up with one good idea. Now,
I feel like this is the only man that came back multiple times. Well, back and forth. Well, you could say the same thing Andrade did, but he really didn't do anything. Cause I think Andrade got fired for like a wellness policy, and they released him. He came back, and then they released him again with the flood of releases that came out this year. I just do not know like why they hire wrestlers back if they're just gonna just be firing them and you know have nothing for them to do. Like just leave them on the indie scene. If y'all got nothing for nobody to do, just leave them on the indie scene. Like they're just bringing back wrestlers just for the sake of just bringing back wrestlers. I don't know if that was Triple H's idea, but this was a terrible idea to bring him back and just let this kind of seethe.
Did result in an awesome debut for AEW, but the Malachi Black story is one for another video, and ultimately he returned to WWE in 2025, and then he was gone 1 year later. What? Go watch that entire 12-month period too. WWE clearly wanted to present him as a top dude, but they just never pulled the trigger. The Damian Priest feud was okay, but also spread out at best, and then he was meant to do something with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 42, when WWE just didn't do it, and I guess his role went to Pat McAfee instead. Fans were mad about that, Black got let go. And I tell you, my friends, absolutely no idea what anybody was thinking. Number 1, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was let down by his...
The story in itself, Mr. Ziggler. He was just such an underrated wrestler that always came so close. He had the world title, but something always ended up happening. It was a concussion. Second time, they just took the championship off him.
WWE creative. It's just true. As above, he had a great run there, but when somebody is this talented, at least try them as a proper upper tier guy, see what happens, then at least you know and you can write it down in a book. The fact he got compared to Shawn Michaels summed it up, because that doesn't just happen, for whatever reason. Vince McMahon just didn't care. I mean, I guess the evidence was looking us in the face. He called him Dolph Ziggler. Even after great world title wins and Money in the Bank cash-ins though, everything was always a bit strange. But in 2017, I think WWE wanted to try again. A program with Bobby Roode saw him get mad at how the company was run, to the point he relinquished his just one US title after being victorious. As a little bit like, yeah, that'll show him, Dolph. Take that championship you worked so hard to get and then just leave it at the door. Now, this was in December. I suppose the idea was that Dolph Ziggler was meant to have checked out for good, when he just returned at the Royal Rumble 1 month later. This was a CM Punk 2011 situation. It was just too soon to have the impact that WWE wanted. Ziggler was thrown out in 2 minutes as well after chucking Goldust, just to make it even worse. He was number 32, so fans got mad about that. They thought the big 3-0 spot had been wasted. Sadly, everything from there till 2023, when he got his release, was just more, why aren't we doing more with Dolph Ziggler conversations? And even Dolph has admitted subsequently he would email Vince McMahon saying, if you're not going to do anything with me, why can't I exit stage left? So he knew. It will, however, always be a what-if situation, even though...
That was, I mean... That's crazy. He gained the reality of just like they're not gonna really do nothing with him, and then like, what was Vince McMahon's plan? What did he want to do? Did he just want to keep this person just like you know, sitting around and shit? Like, nobody wants to do that, bro. They want to just go somewhere and spread their wings like he did in TNA. He's TNA world champion again. And honestly, I just do not get why like keep people like locked into a contract. Money's great, but like wrestlers don't always want to fucking make money all the time. They want to spread their wings and be great. Like I just said again, it just pains me because his story would have been so much better, bro. And honestly, Vince McMahon never had no other problem letting other people go.
As we do stand here today, Dolph Ziggler still had an amazing run. I guess to sum it up in 6 or so words, though, the truth is, my friends, just should have been a hell of a lot more. Nobody other wrestler.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that one, the last one kind of like gave some passion, kind of got some passion out of me, bro. Cause like, man, it was really just like kind of annoying when they really just kept like making him come close and just like not reaching the time. I will always remember that whole thing of him in the ring, cashing in his Money in the Bank. That was such an epic ass time, bro. And then like other people on this whole thing, like I said, them trying to like cut in on the profits for Zelina Vega, that's just annoying. Bringing back people, overall this topic is kind of like multiple people on this list was brought back. Bringing back people, like what's the point? Do y'all just want to use like that person for like a specific thing, and then when they, you know, come for the specific thing, y'all just want to use them and like toss them to the side like some fucking toy? That's what I fucking hate about some of these companies nowadays, especially how WWE is running shit nowadays too. You know, back in the day it used to do with Vince McMahon, but nowadays it's kind of peeking its head with TKO. But let me know how you guys feel about this video. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and go check out the original video in the description, and leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 850. Catch you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around. What about the people he murdered? What murder?